Hi, my name is Bailey Robertson and I am at the Fresno cohort. So for today, the article that I chose was based off of Chapter 12's readings with the organizational versus individual incentive systems. Zoe Cullen and Ricardo Perez wrote the article, The Motivating and Demotivating Effects of Learning Other People's Salaries. So in the article, they did a study of a year's time and they broke it up into two different types of groups. One group actually had the actual truth of what the pay differences were, and then the second group was a little bit more exaggerated. And then they broke it up in a vertical and a horizontal way. So let's start with the vertical one first, because that was comparing actual employee levels to managers or bosses. And there's a direct correlation with people that the ones that were told that their managers made a significant amount more than them. They had, after finding that out, they had more drive, incentive, and were actually more encouraged in the workplace, assuming because the article talks about how they get excited and they know that they can actually get there one day. However, if the employee is just a few more steps away from the manager's position, that's when they saw the most effort from the employee. And if they were several steps behind the manager's position, it wasn't as effective with the excitement and wanting to work harder. So I thought that was actually really interesting about that type of how it ties to each other, like how far you are from that promotion or not. The second way they split it up was the horizontal way, which was employee to employee. Now, they actually found that it was the exact opposite effect, that when employees found out that other employees made more than them, the one employee that actually made more seemed to start working harder and was more enthusiastic about their job, stayed longer hours, created more output. And the ones who found out that they didn't spend or earn as much as the person that made more, they actually stopped working less. Their whole process started to decrease and fall behind. They weren't as happy, they weren't as enthusiastic, they didn't try as hard, they made more mistakes. So clearly with that situation, not telling the employees on a horizontal level is such a good thing. Now, the article did mention for companies that are wanting to do something like this, it'd be a good idea to ask your employees with a survey and having questions like, would you want to know what the salary would be 3 promotions from now, so you know what you're looking forward to? And obviously the survey would be all anonymously, so no one would know and they could answer correctly. And depending on what the results were, the article also recommended that for employees that are not in a group atmosphere for pay raises and more incentives, you want to always attach a promotion to it. So say, if you get $2 more an hour, then you're not just an employee on the floor, you're a sales manager's assistant or something like that. That way the other employees don't get offended by that, and the majority of the workers who aren't getting paid as much don't become unhappy and start working less efficiently, because you think you're making one employee happy by giving them a pay raise, when in reality you're actually hurting your business because all the other employees aren't wanting to work as thoroughly as they used to or as hard as they used to. So I feel like that's really important, figuring out the culture of the environment and the job or the atmosphere that the actual boss or worker, the decision maker, is in, and that would help determine kind of what process to do. I think those surveys are actually a really useful idea. So that's basically all I got from the article. towards the Chapter 12 reading on the individual and organizational incentive systems.